Hello Aquarius, this is going to be your January 2021 through December of 2021 year-long reading. I'm going to do a 12-month spread followed by a love spread and then close with a soul journey path oracle reading as well. I will pull each individual month's cards, go through them one by one after I pull all of them, just so we don't have to deal with shuffling in between. I will pull clarifying cards if need be. I do read in reversed for this deck and the deck over here. I'm going to be posting this in late January so that you can get a feel for if this is your reading or not. Once I go through January, you'll have a better idea of what might have happened for you during January. And if not, you might want to go check out your rising sign to see if that is a better fit for you. As long as you can find your answer somewhere, whether it's on my channel or another, whatever is good. I will say, if January doesn't seem like it belongs to you, it might be because it's something under the surface that you might not be totally aware of yet, but we will dive deeper into that if that is the case. Whew. My. June has a lot going on. Okay. August, September, October. Both of these. And lastly, we will do December. That's it. All right, your overall card, I'm going to be pulling from the Mermaid Oracle deck. If you have not checked out my introduction video, you might want to do so. It just kind of gives you a rundown on how I do things here, what you might gain. It also talks a lot about what decks I use and the stones that I have to ensure that we are getting a positive energy while I am doing your readings. Also has some cute puppies, which you might hear in the background. They've been in a few other videos as well. You can just hear them playing and things like that. All right, let's jump into January. You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this to me wants you to know kind of that something's going on here with your possessions. You're hanging on to things. It's not even necessarily materialistic. Its possessions could also be beliefs wise. You're hanging on to things very strongly. It's definitely, it's a very intense feeling, especially because you have the Chariot. And this to me, you have a lot of, you're harnessing your deeper emotions, and your beliefs are really coming up to the surface for you, and you're really thinking a lot through things. And I believe that this has to do with love, because you have the Two of Hearts. With this card, you're really exchanging your emotions freely with someone else. It's a very intense, powerful connection that you have with someone. The only thing is, I feel like there's a little bit of a struggle here, because you do have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And you see how she's really clutching those, I believe that they're pearls and jewels and things, to her chest. It means that she is very much holding on to something and refusing to let go. Now, this might be something within her that is saying, and this isn't a gender specific reading, male or female, whatever gender that you align yourself with. It's more so to say something within this love connection. It's going very fast. There's a very, it's not really a steady pace. It's just like you didn't even go from a walk to a trot to a jog to, a run to a sprint. It was just like, okay, we're running and now we're sprinting. And it seems like who this person, which I believe is you, is feeling like, is this the right thing for me? Something in here is making you latch on to kind of a secure base that you've learned from the past. And I think that's probably something to do with maybe family values or morals or some beliefs that you've held dear your entire life. You're very much holding on to them because you feel like they're being challenged. And you don't want to let them go because you fear that you're going to kind of lose a piece of yourself in this relationship if you decide to just jump in and go for it. There's something blocking you here. And if you think this has been your January so far, then keep listening. Now, February, you have the Prince of Hearts. This means that this person is very charming. They're drawing you in. You feel attracted to them for sure. They want to bring you on all these new adventures. Maybe you're going on trips together. Maybe you're doing things that just make you feel like they're exciting and you like the energy that this person is bringing to you. But there's also this idea of, is this just a front? Is this person only putting on a show for me to make me feel like I like them? Not do I actually like them? It's this charm and this, it's definitely a personality trait of they want you to like you too. They want you to like them. So they're kind of willing to do whatever it takes to tell you, yeah, you should like me, is what I'm kind of picking up here. And your February, I feel like they're trying to like draw you in and be like, no, don't fall back from me. Trust me, this is worth it. And they're trying to gain your trust. And let's see if you want their trust. If you are still wanting this relationship. You have the 10 of Swords in reverse. Now, the 10 of Swords has a lot to do with feeling like you have hit kind of ruin. It's thinking, well, the worst has got to be over, so there's only got to be an up from here. The only thing is you feel in reverse. If it was upright, I would be like, you know what? Yeah, the worst is over. You only got up from here. Don't worry. It's about to get a lot better. It's not going to get worse for you. It'll be okay. In reverse, I think there's still a lot of conflict here. And this line drawn down the middle, there really is like a standstill of what do I do? I feel like I'm being almost attacked in a sense, and you don't know where to go and what to do within this relationship because this person, you still like them very much. I think there's honestly love here. You love this person, but you can't tell if this is who they truly are at this time, or for some reason they're just being silly, like they're thinking that they're gonna lose you, so they're trying really hard not to, but in doing so, they're actually pushing you away. And I think you're like, I still want to be with you. I'm trying to be here for you. And yet you're feeling all this pressure. That's what I'm getting at. You're feeling a lot of pressure to remain in a relationship that is bringing that person a lot of comfort and joy, and they really enjoy it. And for you, it's almost like you're having to always be there for them and support them, but they're not really supporting you back. They're just trying to make sure that you are staying in love with them, and yet they aren't supporting you at the same time, which is which is odd, you know? Like, it seems like they're trying so hard to stay with you, and yet they're not doing the actual things to make you think that you should stay. March, you have the Five of Pentacles, which is a lot about, you have a lot of anxiety about this relationship. There is a lot going on, and this person, I talked about this in Cancer's video as well. This person seems very controlling. Now, if you look at this, I believe it's a man. This is not gender specific. This can be a male or female for you. But this person, whoever you are with, is pointing and being like, let's go this way. And you're like, well, I'm not so sure. And you're really worrying about what you should do next. And they seem so sure and you're not sure. And you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. How can they be at 100 and I'm at 5? Like, what's the disconnect here? And it's causing you a lot of stress, and you're trying to manage that as best you can, but it's starting to really get to you. And and I think it's going to start feeling really overwhelming at this point. And I hate to say it, but although there's a lot of love in this relationship, something's going on here in the background that isn't clicking for you, that isn't telling you that you should remain in this, because it's not giving you a positive atmosphere to thrive in. Now, the Four of Wands in reverse. And usually this card means completion, and you're about to celebrate something. You've ended a cycle, you're about to start a new cycle, and it's super exciting. In reverse, it's telling me, yeah, you've ended something and you're about to start something really good, and yet there's some hesitation here. And are we really celebrating for the right reasons? Maybe we shouldn't be celebrating. It's a lot of going back and forth between, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this wrong? And you can't decide. You're still stuck in this little path for the first 4 months of what I'm seeing, of not knowing what to do in this relationship. In May, you have the Queen of Pentacles. With this card, you know, this is a good card. This is a positive card. It seems like, you know, you're about to get a lot of good fortune, and you're gonna, socially, I think you're gonna feel good about friendships. I think work-wise, I think coworkers are gonna be good. There's something that I just like keep looking at this woman's face, and she just still looks so worried, like something's behind her, like she keeps looking back and she can't move forward. There's something here where she almost feels like she has to protect herself. Even though a lot of other things are going on and they're going really well, there's still something gnawing away at you. I don't think this isn't the other person, this is you. So the world around you is going really well, but within you, there's some conflict here. Now buckle in for this one. We've got quite a few cards. June, you have the moon, so there's something very unknown and mysterious about there's still not coming to light for you yet of what should I do, and you're still questioning things, at least in the beginning of June. And then as we move forward, you have the Nine of Hearts, which is a very nice, welcoming card. So don't worry about this. I mean, you're gonna have worries, so I shouldn't say don't worry, because you're gonna worry anyway. But this looks like they're changing for the better, definitely in June. Even though you don't know what's gonna happen, they're definitely rising up, because the Nine of Hearts, a wish is granted. Something is definitely becoming fulfilled for you. You feel love is around you. It is filling you up, warming you, bringing you closer to feeling whole. You're definitely getting this point. Even though you don't really know what's changed, there's still something in the background that is uncertain. There's good here. There is good here. You also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is also a wonderful card. This again means that there's a lot of abundance around you. It's a very natural progression. It's not forced. There's a lot of I think patience is going to be involved here because, you know, you plant a seed and you have to watch it grow, you have to water it, you have to make sure that it's getting enough sunlight. You know, sometimes a little bit of words of affirmation go a long way. And I know that's with the plant, but with humans, little things here and there can really make a big difference. And I think there's starting to be a real turning point here in June that is so much for the better for you. You also have the King of Wands, and this card means that you're definitely going to accomplish something. You're going to identify a problem, solve it, and keep moving forward for sure. There's definitely triumph here. You also have the Emperor, all wonderful cards. Your June is a great month. So even though there's a little bit of turmoil in the beginning, it's definitely changing all for the better in June. So keep looking up. And I also want to say, just because this is what's right here, right now, it's just something that might happen. It can always change because of free will. If we have free will, we follow our hearts and we make sure we make the right decisions and the best decisions for us at that time, it can negate what's going on and you can start your own path and journey that you believe you were always meant to be on in the first place. So just because this can just honestly be a little bit of a warning of, hey, this might happen, and you can go, you know what, now that I know about that, maybe I can do something about it and change it for your better. Now, just to finish on June, you have the Emperor here, and this just means you're going to have a much better positive outlook and attitude about the situation because all of these things are coming into line. Things are finally, you know, you're being able to harvest all of your hard work of putting up with whatever was going on with this person. There's definitely a lot of accomplishment here and growth and learning that all of it was worth it. Now, July, you have a little bit of a hiccup in a sense of something's going to test you a little bit and it's going to feel a little rocky. But if you stand your ground, you feel steady, stay centered, you can overcome that no problem. Especially because, you know, there's going to be some change here a little bit that's going to make sure that, you know, you want to stay flexible and you want to have all the information you need to make the best decisions for you. So something's going to test you a little bit, but you're going to get through it, especially because, you know, you have this steady base that you just made the previous month. It's definitely going to come into this next month as well. You have the Nine of Wands in reverse. Now, this is basically just saying, have your faith, keep faith. It'll be okay. Yeah, it might be a little rocky, but there's this discipline here of telling yourself that you can get through it. Of you say something enough times to yourself, you're going to start believing it, and it's not just going to be some kind of opinion. It'll start to be fact for you because you've said it so many times. So you'll definitely get through this. Don't worry about July. It's just a tiny little hiccup. It's nothing to worry about. Next, in August, you have the Magician in reverse. Now, this means that there's a ton of energy just flowing around you, going in and out and in and out, and it's just this rush, and I'm kind of getting the sense that it might be a little overwhelming for you. It's almost like you come up to a river and you are like, oh, I could go swimming in it, but then you're also like, wow, the tide and the you know, the current could really actually be a little bit tricky. So you're trying to navigate, how do I cross from this bank to the next bank and keep moving forward? But there's so much energy around you that you feel a little bit like, yeah, I can totally do it. It's just, how do I do it in a way that I have control over the situation? You have to, this is telling you there's action that needs to be taken, and the world, you know, the universe has your back on it. It's just, you really got to focus, and you won't even, I think you're not really going to have a ton of time to make a decision here. It's going to be like, do it now, take that action. But when you take that action, you need to make sure that you have the control and you can be the one with the reins. Don't let anyone take over. This is something that you have to do for yourself. September, you have the star card. This is you. You are the star. You illuminate. You are bright. Something is definitely coming here where you have a time of healing, of feeling rejuvenated, just warm and happy, very blissful, harmonious energy here where you feel like you are yourself again. You're definitely yourself. You're finding that hope that things always get better. They can always get better. There's definitely that hope here that you're going to keep moving forward with, because you're finding yourself again. Your September is definitely a great month for you. October, you have the Empress in reverse. Now, the Empress usually means that there's some kind of new birth, something new is about to come onto the horizon. And I think with this, you're a little stubborn about it. You don't really want to move. It's like, well, yeah, I could go do something new, but I don't really want to. I think you're gonna push back a little bit on that, because maybe it's not exactly what you want. Maybe it's not as much of a creative endeavor as you would want it to be. I think this has to do with work for you. No, I'm gonna pull from over here. I believe that this has to do with work for you, that maybe you have a new job opportunity, or you've been in the same job and you don't necessarily really enjoy it. It's something like, oh yeah, it pays the bills and I have to do it, but it's not, making you get out of bed every day because you love it so much. It's just, I have to get out of bed because, I gotta eat type of energy, and you're bored. You're definitely, I'm feeling that you're bored. And then you also have the Lovers in reverse. It's interesting that I was talking about work, but here you know what? Actually, I'll say this, because love isn't just a romantical, relationship-wise kind of love. It can also deal with the love and the passion that we have for the things in our lives, like our career. And because this is in reverse, I think it's a little bit of having versus wanting. Questioning, do I have what I need versus what do I want? And you're going, yeah, I have what I need. I have a roof over my head. I have food. I have a loving family. I have all of these things, and you're taking count of them and really getting into it. And yet you're still like, well, I know I have all these things, but I still want a job that I love. And you're not really getting that, is what I'm sensing here. So it might be a little bit of your October is kind of figuring out, well, what do I want out of a job? And maybe you're gonna go searching and looking for a new one. All right, November, you have Justice in reverse. There is some kind of truth here that you don't want to hear. There is something here where something is definitely coming to light, some new information for you that actually isn't really, I think it's not new information at all. It's just you're becoming aware of it and you are not having it. You were like, no, I don't like this at all. Something's a little wonky here. I don't like it. It's not like you're upset about it and you don't like the truth that's come out. And I think because of that, you might end something. And this could be dealing with that relationship. I will pull on it. Never mind, I want these. All right. You have the Devil card. Now, this means that someone is very much obsessing and indulging in something that isn't good for them. Something that is actually hurting them more than they think is helping them. So if this does have to do with the relationship, then someone here is all right, the Six of Pentacles. That one's interesting because this usually has to do with fulfillment. And actually, I think you know what it has to do. This is your generosity towards this person. I feel like you've given them chance. Oh, you can't even see it. You have the Six of Pentacles here. And I think what this is talking about is you've given this person chance after chance. You've been very generous with your time and your love towards them. And now this information that you're finally accepting as the truth, instead of it's just a possibility of what's going on, you're finally accepting it and you're not okay with it. And you're like, no, I'm done. There's something that's really wrong here, because there's someone that's partaking in not necessarily activities, but ways that you don't like. They're really pushing your boundaries, I would say, with this. It's almost like they're trying to tempt you over and over again. And it's just this, give me one more chance, give me one more chance. Don't leave me out in the cold. And you're like, I haven't. I've given you this love, this respect, this attention this whole time, but you haven't given me the same in return. And so you're pretty done with it. And they're coming back as this, almost as this person in February. I think they're gonna make that turnaround again and be like, well, but I'm so charming and I'm gonna be this great guy for you, and don't give up on me. And they're gonna give you all these attractive qualities that you think that person should be, but that's not really who they are, is what I'm kind of getting at right now. Something's going on here, that they're putting up this front instead of actually acting as the person that they are, who they are. They're giving you someone that you want, not the actual thing. And in December, you have the King of Pentacles. Now, you're just going to have to rely on your instincts this month I think you've already made the decision in November. The decision doesn't need to be made. I think this is you coming into it's kind of, like a king's on their throne type of thing. You need to find your throne, you need to sit on it, and you need to remember that you are in charge of your life and no one else can control it except for you. And you really have to remember that. And if you do, then you're going to be able to feel like yourself again, just like how you started feeling like yourself back here in September. And you have all this energy around you in August, and it's starting to feel really great. You want to get that back, and once you do that, I think you're going to start feeling like yourself again. You're going to want to go out, you're going to want to hang out with your friends, you're going to start feeling like things are coming back into place for you. And there's someone here who I think is going to test you in a way of, like, they're going to try and push your buttons, and I think you need to take a step back and not stoop to their level, is what I'm thinking. Is someone's gonna be playing games and you need to just go, no, I'm too mature for that. I don't need to address conflict that I don't need to be a part of anymore. And you are going, I think, quite frankly, you're going to separate yourself from that and stand tall, take your throne back, and just at the end of the year, this December will be a good month for you, because you're finally standing tall. You're taking back what is yours. Your overall energy is dreams, vivid dreaming, dream messages, dream teaching. I will read from the book for you. Oh. Wrong book. This one. I was like, that is not right. All right. Like you, sometimes our dreams are more vivid than our waking life, and within them there is a great deal of freedom, exploration, symbolism, and messages. At some times, our dreams are our spirit calling out to us, wishing us to take heed of what the soul is speaking of. Here's what you're not listening to, what you're actually telling yourself, is what this is basically gonna say. You're not listening to what you already know. But let me keep going. What the soul is speaking of, and asking us to live more in a mystic realm where we can have time alone, where we can create and dream into life our self-expression, and where we are very, very clearly being given messages from the realm of the subconscious, the flowing, the watery, the underworld deep of our very heart selves. Here's the thing, you're not telling yourself, you're not believing, you're not accepting the truth that you already know. That's what this year is about. And I think you're going to learn a lot about yourself along the way, and you need to pay attention to what your subconscious is trying to tell you. Now, sometimes our dreams are absolutely crazy and there is no sense out of them. And those are the dreams to just, be like, well, that was interesting to sleep and go through. But then there's the other dreams where you're like, you wake up and your heart is pounding and you're like, what was that about? And you need to think about it deeper and really reflect on what is going on. Okay, now we're going to get into your love reading. I think this is going to be your year of standing up for yourself and making sure you know what you want. All right. Let's find out what you need to know about love for this year. And love doesn't always have to be about romance. It can be about families and friendships and about self-love as well. Anything else? Okay. Let's get into it. You have get to know each other, learn to meet another's needs for love. This is talking about your partner. Something that your partner is, your partner, but it's kind of like your partner doesn't necessarily know you yet. They seem very self-involved and it's not about selfishness, because I always say, I don't think selfishness is an issue. I think selfishness is about self-care. And when you're caring about yourself, then that's a-okay with me, because if you're taking care of yourself, then you can definitely, when the time comes, you'll be able to take care of other people. Now, I think this is just about self-interest here, and this person just isn't getting to know you. But if you really force them to get down to it and talk with them and have these really open communication lines, then you'll get to the heart of the matter a lot faster than just thinking that it'll come up naturally. Sometimes we have to force things and really get down to it and get to know each other. You have love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. So this is telling you, even when you feel lonely, there is someone out there that loves you. You have a family member that loves you. You have a friend that adores you. You have a coworker who is thinking about you and wants to take you out because they think you're having a hard time. There's a stranger who can look at you and just know that you might have this off look in your eyes and they are worried for you. It could be anything like that. There is love all around you all the time. Do not forget that you are loved. You also have consider your foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. Now, if you think that this relationship you're going in is moving really fast, as it is, in your January you had the Chariot card, it must be, I really truly believe that it's probably going really fast for you, and maybe you need to settle down, and you're thinking about settle down, But in terms of settling down, actually, it just means take a breath, slow down, and think about things truly and fully before you make a commitment that you might not be able to go back on for longer than you want. There's something here that's kind of telling me that this person is telling you 1000% they are committed to you, but you aren't sure that you can commit to them fully because you haven't committed to yourself. Ponder that a little bit. And lastly, you have look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. This has to do with what you're being tested with this year. You have a couple of little hiccups here and there that you need to figure out and make decisions on. And something's really going to tell you, like, and especially when you have to hold strong to your beliefs and your morals and things like that, you really got to look within, be introspective, and figure out what is the best thing for you to do for yourself. Try not to think about other people. It's okay to be selfish. It is. That is only self-care. Think about yourself first and put other people second. Now we're going to move into your soul journey path reading. What I'll tell you about this is these are messages only for you. This is not something that someone else needs to hear. This is something that you need to hear and very much listen to for this coming year. The universe is trying to tell you something within this that it wants your soul to listen to. Something you need to focus on and really just wonder and care about for the rest of the year, because if you care about it, then you'll care about yourself. That is what these cards want you to know. Okay, I think we're going to go with those two. You have star bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. I will read from the book for this because I don't want to tell you anything wrong. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many star seeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten, and all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. If you pull this card, you may be being called to begin working with the stars in the crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid anchors divine cosmic frequencies of the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on Earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in practice called star bathing. Now, what I get out of that is there's going to be a lot of reflection here about what is going on in the world around you and what you might be able to do to help. But here's the thing. This is trying to tell you that you need to help yourself first before you can help anyone else. Keep yourself in mind. You also have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. That whole star card, that was you, and all that information that you're receiving in July and in you're receiving it in November, you're receiving it in June and July, and all over your year, you're receiving some kind of information that's really making you open up and see more so, not just with your eyes, but with your heart, with your head, and your soul. Don't let the weight and density of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home, into your body, at the center front of your life. It's through the extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It's when things are at their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. Let your pain, sorrow, and losses make you, not break you. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. This is about, you're going to be going through a little bit of some tough times, but it's going to make you into the person that you were meant to be. It only betters us. It does not make us worse off. Even if it's a really hard time, you're going to learn from it and grow. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. I wish you all the luck in this upcoming year, and I hope you found some answers that you were looking for. Always be kind. Bye.